What happens when a demon tries to convince his nephew to turn a believer of God against Christianity? We get the Screwtape letters. Let's read about it. Welcome back to BG's Books. I'm Mr. BG, and today I will be reviewing the Screwtape letters by C.S. Lewis. So, you guys have heard me talk about C.S. Lewis a couple times on this channel, mainly when I was talking about, like, J.R.R. Tolkien and his, like, Ring series, because for anyone who did not know, C.S. Lewis and Tolkien were, like, best friends at one point. And so they kind of had a lot of very similar stuff. They were both Christian authors, so a lot of their spirituality kind of bled into the writing, I guess you could say. And so today I'm looking at my first C.S. Lewis book called The Screwtape Letters. Basically, from what I saw about it and, of course, read about it, it is about a demon named Screwtape who is trying to counsel his nephew Wormwood, another demon, on how to kind of get a Christian to stop following the ways of God and to become like an atheist or even a Satanist or something. Kind of weird, but I honestly kind of like the book a lot. So I don't know. I'll just kind of get into it. But basically, it's kind of like satirical, I guess, and it kind of teaches people about the rules of the Bible, temptation, lust, whatever you have it that's in the Bible, in kind of a semi-comedic way that's also told from the perspective of a demon. So, you know, that's just kind of very funny. Of course, a demon would not talk about that kind of stuff. But anyway, I'm just kind of rambling on. So let's get right into the summary and discover what the Screwtape letters is all about. So there's not really a lot to say about the Screwtape letters. It's obviously just about the demon named Screwtape writing letters to his nephew Wormwood about various things on Wormwood's patient, that's what he calls the person, about his Christian lifestyle, and then tries to turn him to the dark side, but constantly fails. Over the course of the book, Screwtape gets even more and more crazy and more angry, and then we don't see any of Wormwood's letters, of course, because then it would be called the Screwtape and Wormwood letters. So we only see Screwtape's letters. But after the letters are said and done, he gives a giant feast in, like, the underworld, I guess. But that's basically the gist of the Screwtape letters. So I actually thought the Screwtape letters was kind of fun in a very weird way. Because if anyone doesn't know, I am a Christian. I know I don't kind of talk about politics or religion on my channel and stuff. I just don't think this is the time or the place to discuss my personal beliefs about, like, my religion or whatever. But I am, in case anyone was wondering. And so the Screwtape letters was kind of weird for me because not only was I reading letters written by a demon that C.S. Lewis came up with, but that demon also, like, talks about stuff that the Bible does, like lust and temptation and greed and pride and all that kind of stuff, even like wrath. So I just kind of found it very interesting and also pretty humorous for a demon to be discussing very religious stuff, because demons are supposed to, like, try and stray you away from Christ. And so yeah, I just kind of thought it was funny that a demon of all things would talk about the Bible in a way that was relatively easy to understand. But yeah, and also I completely forgot to mention this at the first part of the video, but the Screwtape letters was actually given to me by a coworker of mine where I work. So very thank you to my coworker. I will not share their name for privacy reasons, but thank you to that coworker for giving me the Screwtape letters. I read it. It is a very short book, and I enjoyed it quite a lot. So, I mean, yeah, obviously there isn't a lot to talk about. Of course, I mentioned what it's actually about and what it entails and stuff. And then I mentioned that, well, you know, I liked it. So there's really not a lot to this review. This review is definitely probably going to be one of my shorter ones that I've ever done. But, I mean, yeah, I had a lot of fun reading the Screwtape letters. And I have not read the Chronicles of Narnia yet. I know that's, like, C.S. Lewis's, like, masterpiece. That's what everyone points to him towards, or points to him when they recommend reading his work is the Narnia series. And I gotta say, after reading the Screwtape letters, I'm kind of interested in not only reading Narnia, but just more of C.S. Lewis in general. It's like, I know that another big book he has is called Mere Christianity. That's like another one of his big, like, Christian books that are famous. And he has a couple more as well. I don't quite remember what the other one's name is. There's like another really famous one that isn't Narnia. That's kind of like the spiritual text, I think, or maybe it's just a novel. I don't know. I don't remember what name that is, so if you guys think of it, let me know in the comments. But anyway, yeah, please go read the Screwtape letters, whether you are spiritual in Jesus or not. I think it is a very interesting read regardless. So go read the Screwtape letters. But that is the end of the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed my review for the Screwtape Letters by C.S. Lewis. Please let me know what you thought of the book if you have read it, or if you haven't, just let me know about books in the comments down below. You guys know I love reading your comments. But anyway, yeah, I'm also very close to 400 subscribers, so I would love to reach that by the end of the year. Preferably by the summer, but I think the end of the year is more reasonable, you know. But anyway... yeah, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe down below if you have not already. But in the meantime, I've been Mr. BG. This has been BG's Books, and I will see you guys in the next video.